Thank you very much. I'm Mayor Patrick Therrien for the Rural Municipality of Springfield. This is a meeting agenda for February the 3rd of 2026, starting at exactly 6 p.m. All the council is present. I'll introduce them, and to my right in descending order is Deputy Mayor Glenn Fuel, Councillors Kaczynski, Miller, and Warren. And I will do the land acknowledgement, please. The RM of Springfield acknowledges that we are gathered on ancestral lands, Treaty 1 territory, traditional territory of Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, Dene people, and on the national homeland of the Red River Métis. If I can take a little bit of council's time, I wish to make an apology here. I've taken time to reflect on an incident late last month. I've committed to handling these situations and individuals with more patience. Meeting yelling with yelling does not help. I confirm my commitment to handling these people's situations better. I regret it and apologize to my community of Springfield. Persistent, intense pressure from individuals, small groups alike, in chambers and outside repeatedly through 3.5 years, it does take its toll, and certainly did that day. So I must remain composed. I have headed, as council, 175 plus. I'm just guesstimating council meetings and many others in other venues. The video is cut short at the beginning and does not include what led up to my response, which was still unprofessional on my part. This conduct is not reflective of myself, nor should it be representative of this office or the RM. As the elected mayor, I make an oath to the office, to the people, to serve this RM professionally. I did not meet that threshold that day. End of apology. Then I'll go to approval of the agenda. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that, please? Warren and Fuel. Any additions, modifications to the agenda? CEO.
If I can request that bylaw 2602 be added. This is the drain plan within Southeast 3510-4, second and third reading.
Okay, where would we put that? Under new business or?
It would be 8.1.
Under 8.1, okay. Any discussions from council? Everybody's in agreement to that? Andy, did you? Okay, Councillor Kaczynski?
Yes, I would like to add CSO in our camera meeting, please.
Okay. Anything else? I see none. Then if I get a show of hands for approval of item 4, that's approval of the agenda, please. That's unanimous. And we'll go to the adoption of the minutes. There, a mover and a seconder for that, please. Therrien and Warren. Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have a question in the minutes on section 9.4. It's Winnipeg Metropolitan Region 2026 membership resolution 26-027. I just want to make sure that that's accurate, that all of us voted no for that specific resolution. Somehow, maybe I'm getting it confused with the one previous, but I thought, and the mayor can definitely speak to it, but I knew he voted no against opting out, but I thought, and again, I don't want to put words, you're the one that would know more than I if you voted for it or against. I wasn't sure. I thought you had voted for it, but
no. I voted, I voted for that one with everybody else. So okay. It was unanimous there. But it was changed. Chrissy sent us an email to that effect there earlier today, I believe. Yeah, so that's all been amended.
Thank
yes, that is true. Any other questions at all? Nothing else then, Andy? You just CSO is what you wanted there? Okay. If I can get a show of hands for approval of the agenda. No, I'm sorry, I must be all mixed up here. No, okay, I got that right. Yeah, adoption of the minutes. Thank you, Andy. Can I get a mover and a seconder for adoption of the minutes, please? Fuel and Warren. Just need a vote. Show of hands. That's unanimous. See, if you get me offline, it's hard to get back into focus there sometimes. It's not the glasses. It's the age, maybe. Then if we can go to reports, please. 6.1, elected officials. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that too, please? Warren and Therrien. Any questions or comments with regards to that, Deputy Mayor?
Yes, I'd just like to add to my report that I attended the Disaster Management Conference with Ryan Armek, and it was a very good conference. There's a lot of breakout sessions, and I've learned quite a few things again, as it is just one of those things that I find that, we're never really ready for any disaster to happen. And again, and I'll share those things I learned with council. I just, having said that, is one of a couple people that talked that day was Reeve Lorenshenko from the arm of Lactabani, where he experienced the forest fires and how they manned it. His message to us was, we must have a role and keep in our lane when an emergency happens and have a plan. So I just wanted to share that. I'd also like to add that we had a speaker, Tyler Smith. He's a survivor of the Humboldt Broncos tragedy, and his message was on mental health and the effects of moving forward from a major accident like that. Having said that, I would like to have a moment of silence for the community of Southern Alberta Mustangs. It was Stavely, Alberta, where 3 juniors have been killed in an accident. And I would just like to ask for a moment of silence. Sure. Thank you. So once again, we're never, and again, as Lauren says, always be prepared. Never think it'll never happen again. Things do happen, and once again, it was a very good conference. I couldn't say more to it. That I would have hoped that more councillors would have attended, but again, it was just things that you just don't think of until you're in that emergency. So it does help. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments, Councillor Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to add, as of the last month, we can add the RMs of Rockwood and Taché to opting out of the Capital Region Planning, WMR, as most people know it. So the momentum continues. That obviously there might be a different take on this. Another comment would be that does the CEO have costing on participation at the Red River Basin Land and Water International Summit? I believe the mayor and Councillor Fuel attended that. I'm not looking so much right now because I know it's going to take some work to come up with those numbers, but it would be useful, I think, for the public. I know the public asks me sometimes, like, what did it cost for you or some other councillors to go to these events? And so it would be beneficial if you could come up with the costing, including their indemnities, any travel costs associated with the event, because again, these don't come at little cost. Some of them are significant cost. And so if that would be warranted, I would ask that you provide that in the next couple of days or so. That would be useful. And just a comment, or actually a question for Councillor Fuel. On the 26th of it looks like January, there is 2 events, and I'm not really familiar with them, so I'm just asking for clarity and information on them. A short 2-liner or just a verbatim on the Heidelberg meeting and the Community Futures meeting, what those were and what transpired, I guess, if there's any impact for our council or the community. Thank you.
Well, actually, with the Heidelberg meeting, it was the mayor and I attended, and what they were looking at is becoming more involved in the community. And they were asking, was there anything that they could help with the municipality? So it was just a general conversation on how they can get more involved in the community. What was the other one? Sorry. Community Futures meeting. It's one of the committees I sit on, and I'm the president of that committee. It's the one again where it helps businesses in our local area of getting grants and loans. They do strategic planning. You can get a loan for small business up to $150,000. And I would advise that any small business that's looking for money and is finding hard to get that money, please come forward and present yourself to Community Futures, and hopefully they can help you get those monies.
That's great. Thank you.
And Councillor Miller touched upon the conference that we went to. I did a three-page report here, and I don't want to go through the 3 pages, but I might just get some of the highlights there. And it's all attached to our agenda here. The conference was, as usual, based on attending last year. Extremely well done. Every year is different, as all partners from Manitoba, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin attended, Saskatchewan, and South Dakota. Many expert presenters attended and provided detailed synopses of projects in their areas. That included presentations from North Dakota, including Colonel from the Army of Engineers Station in North Dakota, Colonel Matthew Chase. Was present as executive panel, was present for questions from all the delegates. I met with the Colonel after and had a great discussion on how the U.S. is using their course of Army engineers to help facilitate some of these projects. Obviously we don't have the manpower in Canada. Nor the resources to do so. But I thought it was very intriguing how they do that. The only question I asked is, what about the costing and so on like that? And that very respectful the Colonel there, but that really wasn't answered. But I was just kind of curious. So some of the dignitaries that were present there were Tom Peterson, the Manitoba Agricultural Commissioner, the Consul General for Canada to the United States, and the United States to Canada. I did meet the Consul General for Canada there to the U.S. and briefly the U.S. Consul General as well, more so with the Canadian there. So the speeches were quite important, and the collaboration with the watersheds was developing in a cohesive communication with the United States and Canada. It's a fantastic Red River Basin there where everybody works very well together, and I think it's one of the most organized there. But the main idea here is that there's great cooperation from east to west there. Also present was Minister of Climate and Environment. Minister Moyes gave an introduction there, was quite well done. Keynote speaker was Gordon Goldsboro, PhD in the University of Manitoba, which is fantastic. The history in this area here is quite elaborate there with the locks and so on like that. So that it understands not just the history of the watershed, but it also shows the history of Canada and Manitoba in establishing our water routes going from the States all the way up to the North Basin. We also had a further presentation by Linda Nicol, followed by a question and answer period. The panel was filled with several dignitaries, subject matter experts, soil conservation, preservation, water management with Polk Conservation District and Richland County Soil Conservation District, North Dakota. I met both those people. We were at the same gala together, and it was quite an intriguing discussion. The Minister of Agriculture was there as well, gave a great speech there. The North Dakota Commissioner, as I discussed, talked briefly about the Fargo diversion, which is just like our floodway, which is just like our Duff's Ditch, I guess. This will alleviate the flooding in Fargo, but will it affect water going north? It's usually held up in Fargo, so this will basically give it an expedited surge going north. So that question will have to be evaluated in the next years to come. Getting into the third day, there was a presentation from the City of Winnipeg at North End Water Pollution Control Center, the sewage plant. It was very informative and impressive amount of work. Showed in detail in this impressive presentation the building of 2 large cylinders in the ground 70 feet and 50 feet across. That's my estimate. Plus the huge build outs. So when I'm looking at the $3 billion, I'm thinking, well, that's huge, but then it's a huge project and it's going to help the environment quite immensely. And then there was a brief discussion about Chief Peguis Trail Corridor, which was leading from the north end of the sewage treatment plant, which will go up to Rosser, will come down towards the east, towards Springfield, and hopefully someday we'll get that corridor bridge going across Cedar Lake or Cedar corridor into the RM of Springfield. And it's all on there if anybody wants to have a look at it and have any further questions. I'm more than happy to answer those questions. Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I'd just like to re-clarify that the Community Futures, I'm the chair. I think I said the wrong word. Thank you.
Okay, there's no other questions? Hands up there. If I can get a show of hands, those in support of reading the reports. Those in support? It's unanimous, so carried. Then we'll go to departmental reports, please. 6.2, mover and a seconder. Warren and Therrien. Any questions with regards to departmental reports? Councillor Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. I have a question on the Public Works report. On page 10, it said there's 33 customers, which is fine, but there's one that is termed problematic customer. I'm not looking for that person, but what would that actually kind of mean? Does the CAO know? Because I sure don't. So page 10, it notes of the 33 customers, one is a problematic customer. And of course, there could be incidents. And if you don't know, obviously, I'll give you the leeway of finding that out and getting back to us.
I can look into that.
The next one is the water and waste. It notes on page 3 in the second paragraph, the RM is hosting a second open house on August 29th from 6 to 8. I think, and again, I don't want to wordsmith, but I want to, I do read through these documents, so it should say the RM, I guess, hosted. So if anybody was to read this, it looks like it's upcoming, but it should say the RM has hosted a second open house on August 29th. That's just for clarity on it. Page 4, we received a provincial letter for additional information on the impact of the proposed DAOs or water treatment plant. And the reality being, of course, that it has impact. RO water has impact on our watershed and certainly on our water bodies. So can you give us a status report, as you know, what the public can do? There is major concern in our community that the RO water from the new proposed water treatment plant would be, how can I say, flushed into Cooks Creek and into the floodway and then into the Red River and then obviously into Lake Winnipeg. As you know, Lake Winnipeg has too many nutrients and a whole ton of concern. There's a new water shed, or actually a water body initiative that has been set up. But how do we go about ensuring that the RO system has a benign effect on Cooks Creek, the floodway, the Red River, and Lake Winnipeg?
Well, I think there was kind of multiple questions there, but I think the public had an opportunity to submit their comments on the project. That was closed. Further comments were submitted back. That's still an ongoing process before we receive that license. And obviously within the license, there will be conditions. So I assume that many of those conditions will be monitoring the discharge and ensuring those levels meet the appropriate standards.
So is there any further update? I know the mayor is persistent on this, and certainly all of us are eager to know the status of the project itself. Can you provide any update to the public and to us?
I don't think I have much more to add since my last update. They continue to update their public registry through EAL, the Environmental Act License Office. So I think the last comments from our consultants and the Groundwater Management Office were uploaded to their website just last week. And then I believe anyone that commented in the previous stage will be contacted so that they can review those additional comments. So.
Okay, thank you. And a final question, the proposed Dow's water treatment plant, do you know offhand, or you can get back to us again, I'm not going to put you on the spot, how many that would service, how many additional residents that would service? Like we've heard different numbers, but if we could just make it transparent and clear how many residents the new water treatment plant would actually serve going forward, that would be very useful. And again, I give you the option of getting back to us on that.
Yeah, we have a quite detailed project page on our website that has all of the presentations that have been made throughout the open houses. So the information is there. So I'm not going to just throw numbers out, but I can definitely get that information to council.
And I just want to clarify certain points. The RO process, yes, the environment there is looking at that, but this isn't an innovative process. This has been around for over 100 years. Many RMs that have their own water treatment plants are using it. Some of them are at 80% there, and some even is higher than that. We're using 20%, which is a fraction of what other RMs are using there, and we're just lucky because we have good water. And at the AMM conference here with the executives there, it was brought to our attention through one of the mayors. I don't want to mention his name there. They had troubles like this, and theirs at 80%, and it was finally approved. And I would say probably at a shorter time than the 2 years, and they had taken it through to many probably less open houses than ourselves. So we've done all the due diligence with regards to the open houses. And I was going to say our website has all this, but the CEO has mentioned that. So I just want to clarify all those points. Any other questions with regards to departmental reports? I see none. If I can get a show of hands, those in support of adopting the departmental reports. That is unanimous and so carried. Then we're a little bit late, but still not too bad. There we'll have a delegation for 10 minutes, Edwin, as soon as you start.
Stopwatch is ready. Thank you. I'm Edwin Giesbrecht, a longstanding resident of Springfield. Mr. Chair, I'm speaking today on the Springfield Chamber of Commerce membership item, not to criticize local businesses or community volunteers, but to emphasize that there are far better, more effective ways for the municipality to support Springfield businesses while respecting fiduciary responsibility to ratepayers. This is not a question about whether chambers of commerce provide value to their members. It is a question about what role a municipality should play and how public funds should be used. The 2026 chamber membership materials make clear that this is not a nominal or passive membership. The packages bundle sponsorships, ticketed events, galas, and access-based engagements, including dinner with council, roundtables, and election year forums. Why is the municipality paying membership and sponsorship fees that underwrite hospitality, events, and access-based engagement, and then also paying administrative and council time and attendance costs, all at direct ratepayers' expense? Municipalities exist to govern, regulate, and deliver services. They do not exist to purchase relationship-based access or to substitute networking for governance. When public funds are used for hospitality or sponsorship style engagement, particularly in an election year, it creates an inherent perception risk. That risk exists even if everyone involved acts in good faith. Governance is not only about legality, it is about public confidence. There is also a structural conflict of role concern. Chambers of Commerce by design advocate for business interests. That role is legitimate and recognized in law. However, when a municipality becomes a paying member of a Chamber of Commerce, particularly where sponsorships include access, hospitality, and engagement, this creates an institutional conflict when viewed against the principles reflected in the Lobbyist Registration Act of Manitoba, which recognizes chambers of commerce as advocacy organizations and is premised on maintaining clear separation between those who advocate and those who exercise public decision-making authority. I'm not alleging misconduct. I am describing a governance structure that responsible institutions are obliged to avoid in order to preserve independence and public confidence. Nothing in this critique is intended to diminish the legitimacy advocacy role of chambers of commerce. On the contrary, if a chamber believes it has positions or priorities that warrant municipal considerations, the appropriate course is to advance those views through transparent, arm's length, and formally accountable processes, including open submissions, public delegations, and properly registered lobbying where applicable. That is how advocacy maintains legitimacy and public support, because in business, reputation is everything. And reputation ultimately rests with the people who choose where to spend their money. If council believes this expenditure is justified as economic development, then it should be able to clearly articulate on the record three things: a direct and measurable benefit to businesses with a physical footprint in Springfield, transparency of return, and an explanation of how this spending avoids reliance on access or hospitality-based engagement. Absent that, this begins to look less like economic development and more like discretionary hospitality spending, which is not a core municipal function. Further, any economic development expenditure using public funds must be capable of benefiting all businesses with a physical footprint in Springfield on an equal basis, regardless of whether they belong to a Chamber of Commerce or any other private association. Businesses that operate, employ residents, pay taxes, and bear regulatory and infrastructure costs in this municipality do so by virtue of their presence here, not by virtue of membership in a third-party organization. Public support, if justified at all, must attach to the physical and economic footprint within Springfield, not to affiliation or access. It is worth noting, without advancing proposals, that the RM of Springfield already possesses the ability to support businesses equitably and directly through its own public-facing tools and infrastructure across the full geographic footprint of the municipality. Resources currently allocated to membership fees, sponsorships, and hospitality-based events could instead be directed toward broader, more inclusive forms of business support. The absence of such approaches is not a lack of opportunity, but a matter of governance choice. Specific designs and implementations of that nature properly belong in a transparent campaign process, not in an ad hoc expenditure decision. My professional background includes, among other things, over 25 years in real estate, not only residential, but industrial, commercial, and investment real estate. I was formally sanctioned and designated through the Canadian Real Estate Association, including national level credentials administered out of Ottawa. That work involved multiple criteria, including site selection, capital deployment, lease risk, municipal servicing constraints, taxation impacts, and regulatory exposure. The factors that actually determine whether businesses, including farms and agriculture operations, emerging farm industries, market gardens, farm markets, roadside stands, and other small and family-run agricultural enterprises, all of which are businesses in every meaningful sense, choose to locate, expand, diversify, or remain viable. From a commercial and investment perspective, hospitality, sponsored events, and network diners do not materially improve business viability. Business is survive on cost control, infrastructure certainty, regulatory predictability, and whether municipal decisions reduce or increase friction. Responsible governance should be prepared to engage with that operational reality, not by allocating public funds through informal networks, preferential relationships, or reputation-based access, but by applying neutral criteria, transparency, and measurable outcomes. Public resources are not advanced through social or political proximity. They're justified only when there is a demonstrable public value, equitable access, and accountability for results. No business fails because it missed a gala. Businesses fail because costs rise, access shrinks, and decisions are made by people insulated from consequence. This isn't a question of participation or goodwill. It's a question of net return on investment, which is the standard ratepayers are entitled to expect from public spending. There are several obvious alternatives that would deliver a far better return for Springfield businesses, but I am deliberately not advancing specific proposals today, particularly in an election year, because policy of that nature requires demonstrated governance capacity, technical literacy, and accountability to implement responsibly. I'm not prepared to place substantive ideas into the public domain for adoption by individuals or administrations that have not shown the ability to originate, evaluate, or execute them. Economic development is not a rhetorical exercise and is not a resume claim. It is a function of competence, systems, thinking, and delivery. Those standards should be tested transparently through a campaign, not inferred or ridden in on other coattails. That same moral and ethical compass should apply directly to local candidacy as well, particularly in an election year where competence, restraint, and respect for public resources ought to be the baseline expectation of anyone seeking office. This concern is not abstract. In prior years, the Chamber's AGM has included a hosted wine and dine event at Elmhurst Golf and Country Club with municipal participation and costs borne directly or indirectly by ratepayers. That expenditure ran into the thousands of dollars with no evident public return beyond hospitality. Springfield does not need to be a member of Chamber of Commerce to support its economy. A municipality can support business directly, independently, and transparently in ways that benefit all residents and corporate citizens within our community. With respect, this isn't about a membership. Calling it that does not change the fact that it funds hospitality and access-based engagement, and council still owes ratepayers a clear public purpose, justification for spending their money this way instead of investing in more effective community-wide economic supports. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Giesbrecht. Any questions from council? See, Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Giesbrecht, for coming out this evening and speaking about this important issue. It's residents like you that we have to respect because you're taking the time out of your day on a blustery, wintry night to share your point of view. So I have a couple of questions for you. One, first off, you hit a lot of sore points for me on this particular topic, and that's a good thing because I'm very concerned that public funds should not be used for access, for hospitality. You said it as good as I could say it. Do you remember back in 1993 to 96, I believe it was, that the federal government was caught in a scandal? It's called the sponsorship scandal. Yes. So it was the federal government with the Quebec government that was basically buying access to lobbyists, contractors, a whole ton of things. And I have to reflect on that because haven't we learned something from that? That you said it quite clearly, is the Chamber of Commerce is a wonderful organization. No one is here to knock that. In fact, they play a very important role in our community for the businesses that are here and the businesses that want to come, and they provide resources and all the rest of it. But what I don't like is when contractors or businesses have access to politicians through this network. So in your perspective, would the Chamber of Commerce, maybe you have examples of this throughout Canada because there's chambers of commerce across this great nation, but where influence peddling, as they call it, political interference happens. So do you see that as a potential threat?
I don't see it as a threat. I see it as a potential undermining of the confidence of governance. That's how I see it. It is up to our leadership, our elected leadership, to remain neutral, to remain unbiased, to remain uninfluenced, and to remain consistent to the facts that are brought forward to them. And if there is to be lobbying done, then legitimate lobbying is in fact part of our circle. In fact, the city of Winnipeg has lobbied on behalf of certain individuals to the province of Manitoba, but they register under the Lobby Act before they go to the province. So if the city of Winnipeg can do that, why can't we play by the rules?
Good point. I have a final question, and that has to do with you're a ratepayer and you have been for decades in our community. Thank you for that. But what I wanted to say is the Chamber of Commerce, as I say, we're not slighting them, we're encouraging them, but for ratepayers' dollars to be used for this kind of an organization, wouldn't that open the door to other things? In other words, why wouldn't we belong to, I'm in a conflict position, but I'll say it, why don't we belong to MAD Canada? Why don't we belong to a political party of all denominations? Why don't we belong to all the churches? Why don't we belong to every Tom, Dick, and Harry organization that's out there? Because now we're, as you say, really looking at discretionary funding for organizations. And so I have a sensitivity when we start to say, okay, well, this one's good, but we'll overlook that one, and so on. So there's some level of political element to it that I am not favorable to. So do you see it similar as your tax ratepayer dollars are going towards this type of venture?
Oh, absolutely. Because, and I stated, it goes to the fiduciary responsibility of governance of a council to its ratepayers, to its, as elected officials, to the people that elected them. So they're supposed to act in the best interest of the ratepayers. Yes, businesses are ratepayers, but in the Chamber of Commerce, there's many members that don't even have a footprint in Springfield. So my point is that if we're going to support business, of which I was in business a long time, and so I understand the day-to-day grind. Every day you're looking for a new job. Every day you're looking for new business. That's how business works. And for those individuals, they need sometimes a little bit of support, but there's different ways that we can support them other than just giving them money that we go to a wine and dine and have a round table feast with whatever exponential amount of dollars per plate it is, because that doesn't support their businesses in any way, shape, or form. That what we could do is things, but as I said, I'm not open to expressing that into the public domain right now, because we're coming up into an election year and my ideas are my ideas.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I see none. Thank you, Mr. Giesbrecht.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Then we will go to consent agenda. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We have the addition of 8.1. That's bylaw 26-02, the drain plan, the second reading. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that, please? Councillors Miller and Warren.
Be it resolved that second reading be given to bylaw number 2602, being a bylaw of the RM of Springfield, opening a public drain across part of Southeast Quarter 3510-4, including part of Lot 2, Plan 9700.
Any questions from Council? Councillor Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. What is the anticipated cost of this?
This is involving purchase of land from Hydro for $1. And then any legal fees associated with registering the drain plan on title.
Any other questions? Councillor Kaczynski?
Thank you. So this drainage, what's gonna happen to the draining water from, for what purpose, and what benefits to the municipality?
So it's an existing drain that's on hydro property, and it drains from 207 west to the fields near the floodway. So we're just wanting to purchase that piece of property where the drain exists so that we can maintain it properly.
So if somebody is flooding in that area, and that's what we're doing this for this purpose?
The drain's
Like-
been there for, I think, 10 years. So I don't know if it was installed because of drainage problems or.
So our residents are affected by flooding there? Because I know I guess north side of Hydro there was some flooding of the resident land. You can see that, yeah.
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I'll speak to that as I'm familiar with the area, especially two residents towards the northwest side have very low lots, and they were actually getting back water into their almost up to their homes. So Hydro had put this drain in, which actually runs to a drain, I believe, in the back all the way down towards Dougal Road, and then back to the floodway, and that's there already, and it's just to help mitigate the water from going further into the residents' lots. So, and I believe that it's easier for us to own it and maintain it than it is for Hydro to own the land.
Any other questions? Then if we can do the resolution, we'll put it to the vote.
Yeah, we just need a vote.
Bylaw 2602, if I can get a show of hands of those in support. That's unanimous, so carried. And then we'll go to bylaw 2602, third reading, 8.11. Mover and a seconder, please. Warren and Kaczynski. Any questions with regards to the third reading there? Then do you have to do the reading there?
Be it resolved that third and final reading be given to bylaw 2602, being a bylaw of the RM of Springfield, opening a public drain across part of southeast quarter 3510-4, including part of lot 2, plan 9700.
With that being read, I'll pose the question. Those in support, the show of hands. That is unanimous and so carried. Then we have the consent agenda. Can I get a mover and a seconder? I'm looking to put them all together, 10.1, 2, and 3. Any objections to that? I'll get Fuel and Warren. And then any questions? I see none. If I can get a show of hands, those in support of consent agenda. Unanimous, so carried. We'll go under new business, 10.1, that's the Purple Day for Epilepsy across Manitoba. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Therrien and Warren?
Whereas Purple Day is a global effort dedicated to promoting epilepsy awareness in countries around the world, and whereas Purple Day will be celebrated on March 26th annually to increase understanding, reduce stigma, and improve the quality of life for people with epilepsy throughout the country and globally. Therefore, be it resolved that Council of the RM of Springfield proclaim March 26th Purple Day in an effort to raise awareness of epilepsy in Canada.
Are we able to put this on the website there as well?
Yeah, we will put this on our website and social media.
Okay, get a show of hands of those in support. Unanimous, so carried. Then if we go to the Springfield Food Bank 11.2 board member for that, can I get a mover and a seconder? Warren and Miller?
Just some background information. So the food bank will be moving towards establishing a larger informal board to oversee its operations. So there are 6 churches now involved in staffing the food bank, as well as community partners. So they've invited 1 member of council to represent on the board. And they expect that they may have to meet a bit more often to get organized, but then every 6 months they'd be meeting after that.
I think Councillor Warren has put up, had mentioned that she would like to be part of this.
Yeah, I would like to be on the board for this.
If there's an alternate, I'll be an alternate for that.
Be it resolved that Councillor Warren be appointed to the Springfield Food Bank Board for 2026 with Mayor Therrien as alternate.
With that being read, if I can get a show of hands of those in support. That is unanimous and so carried. Then if we go to 11.3, that's a Federation of Canadian Municipalities, FCM, for 26 and 27 membership. They're a mover and a seconder. Therrien and Fuel. Councillor Miller.
I just wanted to make it known for the public that I have the invoice in front of me for 26, 27. I think it's certainly not a bad thing. It's a good thing. So they charge 23 cents per resident, and in the RM of Springfield, we have 16,142 residents. At least that's what's on the invoice, for a total of 3,000. Well, with taxes and stuff, it comes to 4,546.98. So again, it's per resident that the FCM charges each municipality, and I believe pretty much all municipalities are part of it. And so again, it's 23 cents just for transparency. Thank you.
Thank you. If we can do the reading of the reading, and then we can do a membership or a vote.
Be it resolved that Council of the RM of Springfield approve the 26-27 Federation of Canadian Municipalities membership fees in the amount of $45.46.98.
With that being read, if I get a show of hands of those in support. That is unanimous, so carried. Then we'll get to 11.4, that's the Springfield Chamber of Commerce annual membership there. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that? Therrien and Warren. Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. And as you know, I have reservations for this. Kudos and good work for the Chamber of Commerce, but in a very clear, decisive way, no political, or I should say no elected body should be a member of the organization as a member. And if you want evidence of that, one simply has to go, I did a fair bit of research on this. One would want to go to the Canadian Government Registry, and on the lobbyist, they are registered as a lobbyist. So no one, not anyone, can deny that they're a lobbyist because they are registered legitimately on the Government of Canada registry. So if we are supporting lobbyists, make it very clearly known that each one of these individuals on council who votes for a lobbyist organization membership has to be accountable to that. And I think there's repercussions to that. I would rather support initiatives of the Chamber of Commerce as Mr. Giesbrecht has set out. I would love for us to support special projects, initiatives, but in terms of being a member of a lobbyist organization where they have access, where it's discretionary, they can gain our confidence, they can bend our ear, that they can have hospitality. In other words, this is where the word dining comes in, where it's really buying their way into lobbying with government. And I think it's absolutely inappropriate. And again, I use the example of the Canadian scandal, the Canada scanner. There was the real word for it, I guess, was the Canada why am I losing words here? But it was a scandal with the Canadian government, the Quebec government, that was totally inappropriate. Sponsorship, thank you, Councillor Warren. Sponsorship scandal, everybody knew that back in the 90s. And other 2 points is we support, as Councillor Fuel has indicated, Community Futures. Community Futures is a wonderful organization that supports businesses in our community, as well as internally we have an economic development officer who is supposed to source and support local businesses as well. So why we are buying our way into a lobbyist organization, I've yet to see anywhere in this rationale why we would do that. And there's different tiers of membership with the organization. I believe as high as $5,000, and it goes down to something like what, $250 or $500 for membership. So I would like to see the rationale of where we would fit in any of those. Personally, I would not support it, but just to hand out money in our community is finite. Ratepayers are already upset that certain things aren't being done, and here we're going to throw away hundreds or thousands of dollars again. And I would have to ask the question, what are we yielding? Mr. Giesbrecht isn't here, but I know others will ask the question, what are we yielding? Where is the, what is the benefit? What is the cost benefit analysis in this? When I'm in business, I buy in and go into organizations for a benefit, and you can see that yield there, that benefit. But for this, again, we're supporting businesses through, again, being involved in their activities and stuff. But to be a member and have them have access to politicians is totally inappropriate, and frankly is a scandal. And I'm sure the media would love to eat this one up. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, I'd just like to ask our CAO. I believe City of Winnipeg belongs to the Chamber of Commerce, plus many other municipalities. A couple things I'd like to add to Mr. Giesbrecht's speech. I was glad to hear that he said they are ratepayer businesses, which they are. They also pay a premium of 65% on their tax compared to residents that are 45%. I realize that the Chamber of Commerce is its own body, but many of these businesses rely on the Chamber. I can tell you that I don't vote on anything with a biased opinion or uninfluenced. I can also state that the Chamber of Commerce is a local Chamber of Commerce, are trusted partners in the community. The municipality and chambers are essential partners in strengthening competitiveness and supporting local business and ensuring long-term prosperity. So I can tell you this is that every business in this municipality is important to the residents because it helps supplement all the other essential items that we are needed, which is again that premium that businesses pay that help pay for capital costs. Not saying the residents don't either, they do too. The commercial businesses though pay a premium. Having said that is just maybe back to our CAO, just a question on some research of municipalities that belong to their chambers.
So I know that I had another counselor ask that question, so I did put out a message to the group. So I've gotten some responses. Beaujeu is, Broken Head is, Reynolds is, Selkirk is, Stanley is, Morden is, Winkler is, and that's all the responses I did receive.
Thank you.
I can add that that there's 500 local chambers of commerce in the country. 600 communities in Canada have a local chamber of commerce. There's 170,000 individuals, businesses, small and large, there that I believe they are smaller businesses and some component there, but the small business is also the backbone of employment in Canada. And I can just add to what Deputy Mayor was saying. Councillor Warren?
Being a small business owner with my husband, we do belong to a chamber, so I understand the membership side of it. I also understand that when I get emails from the Manitoba Chamber of Commerce, it's inviting me to sessions that can either help me in training. Like I'm sure the RM, being a member of the chamber, gets opportunity to send staff for extra training if they're putting on a training that we would never even think of, but somebody says it's a good idea. That's where I see the chamber, and I know with a lot of businesses in Springfield being a part of the chamber, we need to support those businesses. And yeah, okay, so the events for this year are trivia night, dinner with council, industrial park roundtable with the councillors, and being that the industrial park pays 65% in taxes, that's really important that we hear, because Andy, you always, when you talk to them, they're always talking about the crime in the area. And these are good events that are held by the chamber to get the businesses to come out and to speak with council. Because a lot of the times, like I run a business and my business is from, I don't know, 7:30 in the morning until 5. So when do I have a chance to, you know, meet with all of council? It makes perfect sense some days to do it in the evening, or you can do it on the phone anytime or email anytime. Being that it is election year, like Mr. Giesbrecht said, they will be doing their, which we did it, or some of us did it, sitting at this table. Chamber of Commerce put on their own election night where you got basically, you walked around, you met people, and then they put you in the hot seat, answering questions and stuff like that. And what do you see for the community? It's not just, and it's not just for the businesses. Anyone is invited to that. So, and then, well, they have Magic on Main. They're going to do Magic on Main. That's nice to see that they're going to bring that back. But yes, it's, to me, like the membership is 250. It's important. A lot of these events are important just to get, if there's new people running in this next election, it's always a good thing to introduce them to the public, introduce them to the business people, let them know that there is, and it's not necessarily, you know, rub this person the right way. It's just a hello, like, nice to meet you. That's it.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Kozinski.
Thank you. I would say that we support our businesses, no question about that, and we dare to serve our businesses. They're a very important part of our community. And every time they invite us to their meetings, we never decline. So we always go and we always will support our businesses. That doesn't mean that we have to be member of Chamber of Commerce to support our businesses. It's our responsibility to support those businesses. Everybody who is here in our municipality, it's residents, businesses, they're gonna get total support. We don't have to belong to organization to support all the people who we're responsible for. We elected as a council to serve the people, so serve the businesses. So just because we pay membership, that I don't know what purpose that serves, and maybe I can ask our CEO, for what purpose when we assign money to somebody, we always know what they're gonna spend money on. Do we know what Chamber of Commerce gonna spend that whatever money we're gonna send it to them or approve it tonight?
Well, I think Councillor Warren indicated the chamber events that are planned. So I think membership helps put on those events. They also put on educational events. So it's.
How many of our members or from Springfield, like, I don't know which people going to those events. How many, can you give us example? How many like from Public Works or, you know, Planning Department or administration going to these events? And what do they learn when they go to these events? How that helping our municipality to move forward with the ideas that Chamber of Commerce might initiate for our municipality?
So I think most of the events involve council, not so much staff. I know myself, I'm invited to some of them to participate. I know that the Director of Public Works and Planning have also been asked to attend some. So I think it depends on the event and what the topic is. I know they've had workshops in the past that our HR staff have attended because it's specific to what the workshop is. So I can't give you an exact number.
So we cannot attend those meetings as members of this community, as a municipality. We don't have to pay the members fee to go, and because seems like if we go to these meetings, we learn something and we helping to businesses progress and, you know, be in good standing within our community.
When there's workshops, they open it up to anybody, but there's a user fee to take part. So they have to cover their costs for putting that on. So I don't know if that answered your question.
No, that's the answer you give us. So thank you.
You go ahead, Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be short because I have lots to say, but I'll kind of leave it because I know where this is going. But we just have to remember we're not debating the Chamber of Commerce because it's a valuable tool for our community and businesses. And beyond that, we're looking at the ethical approach, which I could show you a variety of examples where this is not really ethical. But again, we're not debating that. What I would kind of leave people with is the point that where is it? Oh, yes, I wanted to ask, because I don't want to put anyone in a conflict of interest in this vote. If any member of this council is a member of the Springfield Chamber of Commerce, they need to declare that here and now. Otherwise, it's an absolute conflict. Thank you.
I don't think it is a conflict unless somebody's got a monetary gain. No, unless they got a monetary gain to get from this, then it's not a conflict. Absolutely not. No, it's not.
Well, I'll clarify it for myself. I'm not a member. My business is not a member. I do not belong to the Springfield Chamber of Commerce. It's easy.
Okay, then I'll wrap it up there. I really take offense to your comments is not really ethical. I don't quite understand how you can come up with such a abhorrent term as not really ethical. There is no. This is morality and ethics comes with the job. Sure, there's going to be some bad apples, but you go there not to line your pockets, and I don't know where that's. It's almost like a bad movie there. It's not like that. It's not been like that since I've been on council, and I have been to many Chamber of Commerce meetings there. I've been to all kinds of conferences where I met with many people there. There's just not that around, and I don't understand at what level you would think that there's an ethical problem with this. There is no ethical problem. The Chamber of Commerce is a local group. There's a local, provincial, and a federal components to the Chamber of Commerce. They all meet with AMMs, the municipal council representatives in the provinces, all throughout Canada, and I would say all throughout the states there as well. So they're here to in the community, serving our community, and most of them are businesses that are within the RM of Springfield. Most of them are small businesses. Some of them are larger there, but there's no lining of the pockets. There's nothing unethical whatsoever. If a person is looking to start a business or looking for a business there to, a good location, all that, their first line of phone call is likely going to be to the local Chamber of Commerce there, and they have to have some kind of a dialogue with the council, and no more or no less than anybody else that I talk to on the streets there. I've had people that are talking about businesses and so on like that, and I refer them to the right people. There's no. I hate that term. It's not ethical. I've never been unethical in my entire service there with the RCMP. I've not been unethical in this job here, so I take offense to even suggesting something like that. Now I'm going to start into reading what I had here. So they look at the Chamber of Commerce to inquire. Second, they will look at the RM avenues to explore through our CEO. So businesses, I feel they like to see the representatives of council there at these meetings there, and just to chat and get to know who the people on the street are there, and a lot of them are there to inquire about the business projects that might be going ahead. At no time where somebody's talking about I want to do this, they're always referred to the planning through the CEO there's a process, a chain of command. Essentially, that's what I call it, that they have to follow. They'll work closely with the RM projects such as housing, civil engineering, infrastructure, our water treatment plant and rec center coming up and is proposed. This is very important to the Chamber of Commerce. It wasn't facilitated by the Chamber of Commerce. It was facilitated by Council because our water treatment plant is 14 years overdue and it's ready to be replaced. There has been for a number of years. So once we get the water treatment plant up and running, then we're going to be able to go forward, which is our what we plan to do in the RM of Springfield. So we must work with these groups that have the RMs. Oh, I don't know why.
You're on.
Yeah. Okay, so we must work with these groups that have the RM's betterment in mind. These companies are part of the community and they want the best for the RM, and of course, with a business focus. They know where we stand as an RM, and that's a mutual partnership that is not negative. It's a positive to attract businesses, that we have no more privilege than anyone else in the RM. I want to make that clear. They don't have a special number to call anyone on council there. We're not meeting in the back alleys there, to talk about things. Everything is above board. So if there's such a thing as what you're talking about, I believe that there was, I forget what it's called, there, but that's of course you're ever going to find bad apples there, so I don't know enough about it to discuss that. So I've spoken with a few of the Chamber of Commerce and met all businesses that were present, and there's never any promises that are made. We attend there for business awards there for small businesses that are starting in the community there, and this year there was 4 or 5 very highly regarded businesses that started in our RM, and the Grey Wolf Cafe won that there, and they're quite an effective small business. So we have a good representation. We had a very good representation yesterday from Elizabeth Safiak from the Manitoba Chambers of Commerce yesterday at the Eastman Forum, where all RMs were in attendance. In Eastman region, we build rapport with the RMs. Working together is more than just relevant. It must be an imperative. Manitoba Chamber of Commerce showed the relevance of the Chamber of Commerce at the local, provincial, and federal levels. They work with the AMM, FCM, and are involved in getting understanding of their respective centers, local, provincial, and federal. That's all I really have to say there. I've got other notes here, but I think that says it all. Then if we can do the reading there, we can vote on that.
Be it resolved that the Springfield Chamber of Commerce annual membership in the amount of $2,500 be approved.
Yeah.
Councillor Warren indicated $250. How did it all of a sudden become $2,500?
Oh, it's the different levels.
There was different levels. So just the main membership was 250. And so I think like last year we did 2,500.
Yeah.
You know what? Oh, sorry, Councillor Kaczynski.
Yeah.
You have to shut your whole computer down like I did and then restart it. Sorry about that. That's what happened to me at the last meeting. So yeah, we started at the membership itself is 250. And then depending on, sorry, gotta open it up again. Like we're not definitely doing 10,000. Okay, because that's the highest.
We've typically done 2,500.
Yes.
Every year.
So
I would just like to add, if we want to look at the events that are happening, and
yeah.
I'll take in consideration what Mr. Giesbrecht presented as a delegation. But when you look at Magic on Main, maybe that's the one that we sponsor. And I'm not going to start picking gold or bronze. I think that can be a recommendation from admin. But, Magic on Main is not just for businesses, it's for residents also. It's for everybody. So we're sponsoring something that's going to be not just for the Chamber of Commerce, but also for everyone in the community. If you look at the election year of engagements, well, that's getting them engaged with the election. So again, that's open to everybody again. I think a business awards gala is important because they're celebrating businesses that are doing well or starting out. So maybe that one is questionable. So let's go to the industrial park roundtable with councillors. To me, that could be another sponsorship because it's our industrial area. And if you took the tax base, what comes out of that area, you would be supporting that. So why wouldn't we want to be a part of that roundtable with councillors? So maybe those are the three events that we choose that engage everybody more than just the chamber and the business people, but also engages residents. Because you got to remember, these residents also support these businesses. They just don't stop shopping. They go shopping to these businesses. And that's a support again. So look at it as a collaboration for everybody, not just as the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
Okay. So we haven't yet done the vote, but if we were to do the vote and then fill in what the, I'd say doing the 2,500 like we've done before, it allows us that special interaction with the Chamber of Commerce.
We got,
Just give us a sec.
yeah. Maybe you just want to mention, Mayor, that Councillor Kaczynski's having issues with Zoom, and we're just going to take maybe a 5-minute break if everybody was okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have a 5-minute break to work on some technical problems. We'll be back here at 7:16.
Recording stopped.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Recording in progress.
We fixed the technical problems there. It's 7:13. We're back in order here. So we were discussing what the membership plan that we're going to address there. Not sure what we had in mind. I know we've been paying the 2,500 every year and seems to work well for us, but I'm open to council's discussion on that.
Well, once again, I recommended different ones that maybe it's not just about the chamber, it's about the whole RM. That's again my recommendation. Pick ones and then make a recommendation to the chamber that we would like to be a gold sponsor and a bronze, 2 bronze sponsors in those events only. That's my recommendation.
Well, that would be the 2,500 plan, would it not? Because it gives us 1 gold and 2 bronze sponsorships.
That's correct.
Yeah, and then the silver gives us 1 silver sponsorship there. Now I think Councillor Warren was next.
I was just going to agree with Councillor Fuel that Magic on Main and all the other ones that were mentioned.
Yeah, is that something we have to decide now? If we were to get a plan here, the gold gives us 1 gold sponsorship, the other one's 2 bronze sponsorships, and the annual chamber membership included. And then you can read as well as I there. So, is that the one that we're leaning towards? And I haven't forgotten about you, Councillor Miller. You're up next, but is that what we're kind of looking at?
Yeah.
Councillor Miller.
I'm just looking at it too, and as I say, the Springfield Chamber has some fantastic events that are coming up in 2026, and I have no opposition to supporting them in these kinds of events, but I just don't like the term membership. That's where I'm trying to discern the difference. Like, again, I do believe we should support them in various actions and activities because those are deliverables. But in terms of the membership, I'm opposed, so I'm kind of in a quandary. Thank you.
Okay. I think we have 25 for 2,500 for Councillor Warren, Councillor Fuel, Mayor Therrien. Haven't heard from Councillor Kaczynski.
I'll echo that what Councilor Miller suggested, that, we fully cooperate and want to support our Chamber of Commerce. We're not against it, just not having membership with them. And we can go to all events and, we still respect, that organization, and we always will. So that's my stand on this issue.
Okay, well, this is the membership part there and what comes with that. I'm thinking we have to put a blank into the resolution here to how we're going to vote there. All of them are memberships, though, as you could tell. To put into 2,500, I think that seems to be the consensus here, but we're not making a vote on this because we can't. It's now that we do the resolution to form a membership there. And if we go with any one of these, it'll be subject to how many that we can pick and choose, given those the criteria below. So I think we're ready just to read the resolution, then we can vote.
Be it resolved that the Springfield Chamber of Commerce annual membership in the amount of $2,500 be approved.
First question to be posed is those in support with a show of hands. Please show of hands. Councillors Warren, Fuel, and Therrien. Those opposed, please. Councillors Miller and Kaczynski. It is so passed. I have trouble with my screen here. If we can go to 11.5, please. That's the Red River Basin Commission North Chapter. There, can I get a mover and a seconder for 11.5, please? Councillors Warren and Fuel.
Be it resolved that all of council be delegated to attend the Red River Basin Commission North Chapter Fish Dinner Gala, March 19th, 2026 in West St. Paul at their discretion.
With that being read, if I can get a show of hands, those in support. Unanimous, so carried. Then we'll go to 11.6, please. That's ward appropriations. We'll be looking at Dawson Trek support, Springfield Music Association summer band camp request, Springfield Ice Hawks U13B support requested. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that, please? That'll be Warren and Miller. And the first one is the Dawson Trek.
So last year, council supported with $325.
Yes, I met this individual, and it's a great cause there, and I think 350 was good last year, but I'm thinking just with the costs that are going to go up there, I'm going to suggest 450 this year. I'll leave it up to council what their thoughts are. We had 350 last year. Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I'm good with that. That's in total, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
in total for all of us.
Okay.
Well, one of us would be odd out there, but I think that's for 450. Everybody in agreement with that? Okay.
Yeah.
Then when we go to Springfield Music Association summer band camp request. Or do you want to handle them one at a time?
All together. So last year, Springfield Music Parents Association, you provided $750.
Yeah. Anybody else want to speak up? Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I'm good with the 750 again. Again, it's supporting SEI and SMS.
Any other comments? 750? All right, we'll go to Springfield Ice Hawks U13B team support request. Any questions or comments with regards to that? I think it's always good to help hockey nut there. I think we have to support our team, especially when they're showing our yogo. our logo. And just it's good community relations, in my opinion, there. I don't know how much I read it, but I don't think they're looking for an amount, but $100 each from council. Does that sound kind of fair?
Sounds
$500?
good, yeah.
Okay.
Be resolved that the following 2026 ward appropriations be approved. Dawson Trek, $450. Springfield Music Association, $750. And Springfield Ice Hawks U13B team, $500.
With that being read, if I can get a show of hands first to pose a question for those in support. That is unanimous and so carried. Then at this time here, we're going to go to close a meeting there. Can I get a mover and a seconder to go into a close meeting? Kaczynski and Fuel, all a show of hands of those in support. Unanimous, so carried. We're going to go into a closed meeting at 7:22 p.m.
Recording stopped.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
Thank you. We are coming out of a closed meeting at 7:47 p.m. We had discussions in council, brief discussions on a legal matter. We're working on a values package for code of conduct there, and as well as a future open house. We're going to return from the closed meeting. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Warren and Fuel. And I see nothing else of discussions there. If I get a show of hands to adjourn the meeting and close the session. Unanimous, so carried. Thank you very much. Matters adjourned. Meeting's adjourned at 7:48 p.m. Thank you.
Recording stopped.